Hello, I'm Wendy and this is Summer Bay Studio. In today's video, I am going to be borrowing some techniques that I've used in this little glue book that I've been working on over the last several weeks, months, I'm not sure how long, and use them to make a Christmas card. So what I'm starting with is, this is a pad of paper. It's actually kind of heavy paper, not quite cardstock. Well, it's almost cardstock. Anyway, I got it from, it's a Recollections brand from Michael's, and I picked it up last year. And so I'm going to use this for my base. And then I've got a whole bunch of ephemera pieces that I've got designed and cut out and put in my shop at summerbaystudio.com. And I'm going to use those and maybe some other techniques in order to create a Christmas card. So to start with, I want to choose a background, but first I'm going to choose the size. And I have these envelopes. I have some of these envelopes anyway, so I decided to use this size. And I'm using this as my measurement. And this is a card from a series that I created a while back, and it's designed just to fit perfectly in this envelope. So that makes measuring easy. That is, I don't have to measure. I can just draw some lines. So I'm going to choose something that will make a nice background. This is the color theme here, and this sort of style. So I want that to kind of match. So something like this would work well, and I can just like toss these on here and go, okay, well this works. Okay, so this is a good choice. Keep that one in mind. Gray is not my favorite. This is too busy. And some of them, of course, are obviously not fits. This is beautiful, but I think it's too elegant. Now, if I was going to be using something like materials like this or like this, and doing something a little bit different, or even with trims like these, then this would be perfect. But that's not what I'm going to be doing today, so we'll leave that there. And see what else we've got. Now this is a good motif, but it's the wrong color. And this works. So if I wanted to have a background that is a little less busy than this, then I could choose something like that. I think I like the other one a little bit better. These acorns to me say fall, not Christmas, but you know, to each her own. Sweaters. Not today. This is too big. This is obviously not what I want. This would work, but not so much with the colors. And again, another elegant snowflake one, and that one doesn't work, and wrong colors. So you see what I'm getting at. Like, I could use this one. It works with the colors. Maybe a little bit busy. This one does as well. You could go either up and down or side to side. And I'll think of that for maybe another one. Doves, no. I could use this, like the top end of this, but this has too much going on. So I'm going to go back to this one because I like it. And I'll just pull this out of here because I don't need this big pad anymore. Now to cut it, all I'm going to do is just put this here like this. And then use a pencil, hopefully not that one, and just mark where I want to cut it. So those pencil marks, I'll go just inside those because I don't want them to show. And I've got my paper cutter here for making nice straight cuts. And let's see, this is probably off the... Let me see if I can get this in the camera. Here's my line right here. So I want to go just inside it a little bit. And I only want to go up to here because why waste paper by cutting into little pieces? So I'm just going to move my finger. I'm going to move my little flowers there too. So that went just beyond that mark. And then I'll turn it this way. Let me see. It has this perforation here, which makes it a little bit bigger than 12 inches. So I'm just folding that over, and then I have to find my lines again. So here's my line right here. So I just want to put that a little bit on the inside of the where it's going to cut, and then just bring it down here a little past where the other cut is. So voila, there we have it. From here, I want to fold it, and I do have a scoring board, but I don't really need it for this little project because it's small. So I'm going to just fold this as perfectly as I can, like that. And I am going to just go over it like that to make it a nice sharp fold. What I could do here is I could line this with paper, and I have some nice 28-pound paper here, and I could line it just, you know, a 1/4 of an inch inside here or so, or even more, like a centimeter, and put a lining in it if I wanted to. I don't think I'll bother this time. Another thing I could do is if I printed something, I could, you know, print to fit and put a message in here. I haven't done that, but it is an option. So, you know, keep that in mind. Or I could just use something like this. Just glue that down and sign your name and done. So there's some ideas for the interior. Now on the outside, what I want to do is choose from all my little pieces here to make a design that works. Now my goal is to make it look kind of like a glue book, and this is a collection, so everything kind of goes together, which makes it a little bit easier, I suppose, unless you like to have a really eclectic look. So if I were to take something like this, and I've got different sizes. I have big ones, so if I wanted to, I could just put a tree on the front and be done with it. So there's a nice easy way to make your Christmas cards. You could finish them all, you know, depending how long your list is, you could finish them all pretty quickly. I like that this is actually a watercolor design, and so are these. So let's start with something like this. Now I'm just making this up as I go along. I cut these with my CRICUT machine, which is why all these little tiny bits are cut so precisely, but you can do it with just by hand. There's a cute little piece there. I did, like I said, several sizes so that there's some variety. So if I take, for example, this one and this one, and just make a collage of Christmas themed things, I think that's actually pretty cute. And it's fun because you can, your eye just travels around it. What else have we got in here? See what I mean about making bigger ones? I made a couple of different ones like this and this. And there's a big stocking. So if I wanted to take, instead of the tiny ones, now I like the kind of fun look of these more than the precise look of that. So I'm going to move that out, and maybe I'll put this in. It'd be nice to have something to hang this from, even if it's the top. Okay, now I've got a couple of these, and a bunch of these little guys, which are fun. I even have a tiny tree, but I don't think I'll use that right now. And let's see. In this case, I'm not going to try and use everything, obviously. But I want to find another stocking if I can. I'm going to have to sort these by size. Oh, I like this where they overlap. I think that's really pretty. All right, so at this stage then, it's a case of which ones do you put down first? I don't need that little piece. Because when they're overlapping, you want to make sure that they line up properly. I have some other colors in these because I did a variety of colors. I think I'll use this one instead of... Okay, so I'm going to make a little hanging grouping here. So I'm just going to move this. Just brush some of these back a little bit. And then I'm going to glue this down. I put some more glue in this bottle because it's a great bottle, but then I added some water because the glue was too thick, and now it runs out too easily. Okay, so this is always the tricky part. Notice I didn't put any glue on the top there, it's just too tiny. Oh, for goodness sake, that's what I'm trying to avoid. Okay, let's try this again. I added a bit of water and then I added some more glue, and I haven't quite got the right consistency. Okay, now squeeze tightly with tweezers and flip it over. Now you can make your Christmas cards any size you like, and you can buy envelopes at stationery stores like Staples or Home Depot. What's it called? Office Depot. Or, stationery department in any kind of store that carries this stuff. I'm going to overlap this one a little bit, like that. See, that's pretty already. I like it. Okay. Now, like I said, I cut this out with my CRICUT machine. If you're cutting it by hand, you don't need to be so fussy about the little branches and everything. However, it's a good idea to get sort of close to the edges. Now, I could use a glue stick for this, and it might not have been a bad idea, but I've already committed myself here. All right, let's give this a try and see if we can do it without making too much of a mess. I do want to move that glue though, so I'm just using Nature's Way, which is the fingertip, to spread it around, because I don't want a bunch of really wet stuff right on the edges, because it'll just squirt out and make a mess. So, and this way, you can get it on all those little points. Okay, let's make sure I get it inside the edge there. There, that worked out very well. And using my finger as a spreader did a great job. Just get some of that off there before it dries and is impossible to move. Okay, so there's that piece, and then we've got this one. Now on this one, you can see how the Cricut maker cut it with those tiny little ribbons. And I'm not going to glue those down. However, wait a minute. There is a little part here that has been cut but hasn't been poked out. Now, I'm going to just put that in there, blot up the resulting glue, try not to leave any messes on it, and I'm going to leave those loose like that. So there is our card. Now, I'm also working on a different series of Christmas sticker cutouts, which is a vintage one. And in here somewhere I have some stars, which would be perfect for the top of this tree. I've got 3 sizes of stars here that I could use one for the top of this tree. I am going to use a little scrap of paper here, and I'm going to use a glue stick on this because otherwise it's going to make a mess. And I've got this cool glue stick called Glue that I bought. It's from Korea, I think. I bought it at a store in Vancouver on the recommendation of my daughter, who had been there and bought some herself. And I thought, well, she said it was good because it doesn't dry out as well as much as others or something like that. Let's get this off of here. And come on. Don't need static. And let's just put it on top of this tree like this. Now there is our card. And like I said, you can put something on the interior. And I might even do that. Let's see. No, I don't want to. This is the card for now. You can see how easy it was to do. Really, it took minutes. Once you've cut out the ephemera and you've got them, you know, all ready to go, then all you have to do is move on it. Please take a moment and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you like what you see and have ideas that you want to share, I would love to hear them. Be sure to click the like button because that tells other people that this is a likable video, and I'll see you next time.